Clarke
Schmitty.
I thought I told you the Schmidt house.
Schmitty.
Play. Hello, and welcome to the player profile and projection. I keep beefing that. For Clarke Schmidt, number 1 in your hearts, number 3 in your rotation, number 5 in your rotation. Hopefully healthy and in our rotation, because as we record this on March 19th, he's dealing with a cranky back. There's some rumors he's going to start on the IL, but it might be a clean, exactly 15 days. It gets scary when you start doing any of that. Clarke Schmidt, sneaky, with a breakout last year for the Yankees in 16 starts, a 2.85 ERA.
2.85 is sparkling.
Him and Cole combined to basically be one whole starting pitcher last year. More strikeouts than innings pitched. He neutralized lefties, which was kind of his major bugaboo. And Clarke Schmidt, and I think it's for a guy that was a first-round pick, a guy that we've heard about for a while, and the curveball and all of that, I think he's a good example for Yankee fans of how tough this sport is to make it and be established, especially on our Yankees.
Yes.
That, he's got all the buzz things you hear about, and, this is... The Yanks are now counting on Clarke Schmidt in his 4th or 5th year being on the actual Yankees.
This is his 4th year? Yeah, I think it's 4th year.
Yeah, he made his debut in 2020. He made his debut in 2020, so this is going to be his 6th year putting on pinstripes.
Is he a free agent after this year?
No, I don't think he's racked up the
service time.
I think he's got 2 years. But that's crazy.
Love Clarke Schmidt.
Okay. Good.
His dad is like a pilot,
You're
right?
going there now. Yeah, he flew the team.
Flew the team, which is, that's a lot of responsibility.
He invited you and me personally to stay at his house.
Which blew me away. I would like to take him up on that offer. We would like to do that. But Clarke Schmidt's awesome because that same day that we spoke to his dad,
right,
he was having trouble getting the lefties.
Yeah.
And I feel like ever since, it's been to the point where he's developed himself. And you're seeing the true development of what a major league starting pitcher is, or a prospect that came up, made his adjustments, gets beat up a little bit, and then becomes a pitcher it's fine. That's like the normal thing. I feel like so many people want people to be finished products as soon as they come up. But this is the actual trek. 2.85 is awesome. I was very proud of him.
Wow.
Not like a father, but like a friend.
A proud friend.
A proud friend. So I think that the Yankees right now are taking every precaution possible because, 1, it's the beginning of the year. 2, another injury to the starting rotation would be, catastrophic. It would be horrible. So they don't, take your time. Don't worry. Don't push it. Even though he keeps saying, I feel great.
He always feels great.
Always feel great.
Something I like about Clarke Schmidt, he throws 4 pitches to both sides. Cutter, sweeper, sinker, knuckle curve. The biggest spike is the cutter. The cutter that he started throwing in 2023, it became his number 1 pitch 35% of the time, mostly to lefties. He threw 322 to lefties, 187 to righties. So, again, what I like about that, the knuckle curve, another pitch that's primarily focused to lefties, he threw over 100 to righties. So every batter that comes in the batter box against Clarke Schmidt, they have to be prepared for 4 pitches. Cutter, sweeper, sinker, knuckle curve. That it's the whole conversation whenever we talk about starting pitchers or there's an opposing team and there's a guy coming into town that's a 2-pitch pitcher. You see Jimmy's eyes will light up and be like, oh, we got this guy. The Yankees have professional hitters that can hit major league pitching. When you take out all of that decision-making, that they can handle that. Clarke has evolved that now he's neutralizing lefties. with that cutter and the knuckle curve, which was the pitch we were told to dream about originally with
Yes.
Clarke Schmidt. It's interesting looking back. His sinker, which is his, another pitch he throws 20% of the time. That was the pitch that kind of got hit the most, but not at a crazy level. Some of the expected is a little scary, but the numbers across the board are good for Clarke because he was really good.
Yeah, he was. That knuckle curve only had a 143 batting average against last year.
That's good.
143.
Start twirling it more, Clarky.
Sliders at 210. Like you mentioned, the sinker, but the sinker's at 267 batting average against, which is like, okay.
Not bad.
Not bad.
You'd like to see it a little lower? We can work on that.
He doesn't like his change.
No. Threw it a couple times. Didn't really work. The breaking run value meter on his baseball savant is a dark red, which is very good. He pitched in the postseason. None of the two 4.2 earned run games, which if I remember one of those, the Yankees defense let him down a little bit, which might be able to call foreshadowing.
Yeah.
If last season was a book or a movie. And yeah, the next biggest thing for Clarky to try to take down is length in the games.
Yes.
And he got better at that last year. He had a 6.2 inning outing and an 8 inning outing in May last year, which was like, whoa, is Clarke really arriving? Because he had his OPS third time through the lineup was 919. That was 8th highest against MLB pitching. So that's we've seen the progression of Clarke from bullpen to earning a starting role to, okay, you're starting, you got to really get lefties out, pal. Kind of figured that out. That if he can figure out a third time through, and whether that's throwing the breaking ball more, whether that's something else, could Sneaky be a massive guy for this Yankees team this year? Like, we're already, without Heel and Cole, if Clarke Schmidt, who has progressed every year, is healthy and progresses, it's something that I think we looked at other players to step up for the Yankees for World Series goals or what we want this season to be, win 100 games, whatever it is. Clarke was kind of the like, oh, I'll be the 5th starter. We like Clarke. Clarke can jump up a notch.
I'll ask you this. Would it be beyond the realm of possibility for you that Clarke is the number 2 pitcher if he's able to get this going deeper into games, if he's able to like finish off that piece of his development now?
Can Clarke Schmidt be the number 2 pitcher?
So
on the
Fried,
Yankees?
number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't love the implications for Rodon for what I think Clark's best is. Although Clarke balled out last year.
Right.
That could not.
That doesn't mean it's a knock on Rodon. It just means that Clarke is just good, like really good.
I think eye test wise, which I don't. Again, that's not where I bred my butter. You know. Carlos Rodon, when you see him at his peak, you're like, whoa, that fastball, high 90s, that slider, guys are waving at. Even we saw him mix in the changeup and the curveball. That Carlos Rodon, hopefully the next progression we're talking about with him is maybe that pitch mix feels better. Like, he can have high-level stuff. If Clarke is the second best pitcher for the Yankees this year, I guess I'm taking a little bit of step back from World Series Yanks, 100 regular season wins Yanks. Like, it'd still be a nice season. I don't know. I guess in that regard, I would hope Clarke could prove me wrong if he is that guy.
Well, I just meant, like, obviously he's the second best because now he's able to go deeper into games, and that 919 OPS is no longer that.
Right.
So that means, it doesn't mean that Rodon is not Rodon. It just means that he's just elevated himself as, like you said, he can jump from you thinking of him as a 5th starter or 4th starter, 3rd, to now thinking, oh, wow, he's like a top of the rotation kind of pitcher. Is that like his ceiling, is what I'm saying?
I guess where my brain instantly jumped, I thought you were going to ask, do you think Clarke Schmidt could be an all-star this year? And
You
I
know
was,
what?
I was,
That could be a good
I was kind of
question.
like, yeah. Like, do I think
Yeah.
Clarke Schmidt could put together 2.5, 3 months where he's a high enough level pitcher in the American League? Like, he almost did that.
Yes.
Like 16 starts at 285. That, yeah, I guess for me, with Clarke Schmidt's current stuff, it's hard to picture a level above that.
Yes. Okay.
Because, I mean, you're talking elite player,
Yes.
which I hope we are talking about. And maybe it's the knuckle curve, or maybe that sinker's running a little more, or something of that nature. I think Clarke Schmidt, we've sneakily put in our heads as like, good.
Yeah.
Like, Clark's nice. I think he has more room from that. Like, if in our heads Clarke is a 7 out of 10, like, I think Clarke has an 8.5 in there that we could tap into. I think Clarke could have a 5.5 season if things go wrong. Like, if he's not locating, if there's something up with his stuff, if one of his pitches isn't working, that it does feel like a not scary floor.
Okay.
I do think we've been a little... Heal's potential seemed insane.
Right.
A full season of Cole, he can win the Cy Young. We've seen that. Clarke doesn't have those, but God, he can be really good.
Because I remember hearing somebody say Clarke, maybe could he be like the next kind of King, like Mike King
Right.
kind of arc development.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought about that for a second, because for a while people were just thinking about Mike King as just either a bullpen guy or a back of the rotation guy, and now he's opening day.
Opening day, Mike King.
So would be nice.
Yeah, it's player development is something that I think there's usually a couple episodes a year where us Yankee fans get a little rowdy. That the key to getting better is keep getting better.
Yeah.
You can't stay the same at the major league level. And Clarke has shown he does that. Whenever the most competitive question gets brought up on the Yankees, Clarke is like the first answer, which a lot of dogs on that team.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of dogs on that team.
Tim
so
Hill.
They're professional athletes.
they are literally professional baseball players. Do we have a Clarke taster reel?
We do right after this.
It's an exciting time for sports, spring training, as you know. Also, the most exciting month in college basketball is here, with underdogs ready to fight their way to the top and established teams ready to defend their titles. This is the time to lock in your picks with our partners at DraftKings. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code YANKS. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code YANKS only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
What do we got here? Strikeouts?
Strikeouts on his breaking pitches.
Okay, that's sweeper they have. Cutter. It's Max Muncy. He's good. Stephen Kwan.
Not a guy who strikes out a lot.
Knuckle curve versus South Carolina.
Cedric.
That's that high spin curveball.
Sure what that was.
Oh,
J-Ram.
man.
What a 1-2 count.
That back leg to lefties, man, looks special.
Right?
Swing
And it-
Look at that. Look at those swings.
That one's Florio.
That's fine.
He needed Tommy John surgery.
That's fine. Riley Green's really good.
Yep.
Swing and a miss.
Sweeper in the zone. That's nice.
3-2.
5 strikeouts in a row sound like Kaster was saying.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Got him.
Machado?
Breaking.
Yeah, I think, and I'm sorry if I'm echoing Jimmy or I'm fake echoing Jimmy and he doesn't believe in this, but that curveball that we saw to those lefties, premier MLB lefties, it didn't feel like a go-to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, some pitchers get there and you're like, here it comes.
What's the max exit velo on that pitch?
Max exit.
87 off the bat. Off of, like, if somebody was able to hit it, 87 miles per hour.
Nobody got his curveball?
Like, it's just 87.1
That's the average.
average, max average. Max. Woo. Oh,
It's a good pitch, is what we're trying to say.
It wasn't hit hard a lot.
max average.
It feels like if we were the Yankees and Matt Blake, we would say, hey, Clarke, you threw that pitch 18% of the time last year. We might be able to get that up to 25. I think that pitch would still be effective with the max average of 85.2 on it.
Max average.
That's nuts, Joe.
That's a shirt.
The maximum average of that. Because I was going to say one person hit a homer off of it. I was like, no way, it was 87 miles per hour. That doesn't,
That's like the softest hit homer.
the science doesn't make sense on that.
Fangraphs has max velo. I guess I was reading it different.
Let's start banging that curveball a little more. I think that's the point of it. All.
Yes, please.
God, and he was good. One of those playoff games, he was electric, and the Yankees let him down a little bit, which we found out.
Yes.
Anything else you need on Clarke this year? What do we have an over/under?
4.5 starts into the 7th inning.
Oh, into the 7th. So that's 6 plus, right?
Yes.
I'm a numbers guy. In 16 starts last year, he only had 2. But he had 2 5.2 games in 16 starts. If we're assuming Clarke's going to be healthy, yes.
Yes. 5 starts, we're saying.
Because, I mean, the Yankees let him throw last year. He had 6 games of 99-plus pitches. Like, they had a Stroman thing going on last year where it's like if Stroman throws 80, they started getting really nervous. I think they're going to allow Clarke to go, and they need him to. They
Yes.
now need him a lot more.
Into the 7th.
And they literally let him do it back-to-back times, and he just got hurt in that period or shortly after because 2 starts later he hits the IL out 3-4 months. So in the starts he comes back, they can't let him eat in his first starts back. So
Hey, I know this.
I think he was pacing for it.
This is a little bit of nothing either, but he never got rocked last year.
Right.
He only gave up 4 earned runs once, and it was his last start of the season against the Pirates, which is kind of tune-up season. Again, I won't fully excuse it because it counted, but he had 4 walks and 2 hit by pitches that day. So I think he was dialing back up for the season. That Clarke never had the bad day at the office, which there's extreme value in going long into games, and that's what we're looking for. There's also value in not going short into games.
Yes.
And he didn't
Never
have,
burying the team.
he didn't have that. Yeah, I think it's his first start of the year that I don't think he was fully stretched out for, and then 2 rehab starts on the way back. Everything else was 5 plus.
I like the
You'd like to
over.
see a little more.
I like the over, but the only thing that's making me think about it, right, is just that the Yankees bullpen is good.
Right.
And they're going to try to get these games, and I think that the Boston Red Sox are going to be on the Yankees' tail.
A lot of lefties.
They're going to be, yeah. So I can see
of
it being
lefties.
4. Like, he got to the 7th inning 4 times, but
Wow.
I'll go
A
over.
tasteful under out of you.
So you think I said a perfect line?
That's a perfect line.
Damn.
Wow.
Um,
But I suppose there's a part of me thinking about the rest of the rotation. Like Fried and Rodon are guys, if they're having a good day, they're going to let them go.
Yes.
Probably Stroman, same boat. I guess
think
not
so.
as much. Like if they're getting a great Carrasco day, like he's throwing his 100 pitches,
that's nothing.
like
It's.
like
I think-
of their guys, like he's the one that's like, even if you're having a great day, they might cut it.
I don't think so.
But-
I'll be interested to see how they treat him this year because I think they want him to do that. I think that 6.2 8 innings outing. I feel like sometimes Clarke, the pitch count gets away from him, or there's the lefty he can't get, and that third time through, what you were saying, the Yankees have bullpen options. That it's okay. Am I going to let Clarke face this guy in a 4-2 game with a runner on first, or am I going to go to Tim Hill? And like the conversation gets answered. Where there, Fried and Rodon, like, they probably get the nod.
Yeah.
That I don't know. It's a pivot year for Clarke a little bit, because you're right. If he progresses and he's out there for 30, it's closer to where Mike King is at. If he doesn't, or he takes a step back, it's going to leave interesting questions. This is a guy that's been in trade rumors the past couple years. You know, Clarke Schmidt's been on the Cardinals a couple times.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
This same offseason, people were talking about him for Kyle Tucker.
And Clarke survived it all. And
Yeah.
he's going to be leaned on a little bit this year. And I guess after seeing some of the numbers, I'm a little more excited.
He's 29 now.
Right? He's right.
Time like flies.
What happened? Yeah. Sleep over at his dad's house.
I don't know sleepovers anymore.
Feels like every year he's had like a mission for the season and kind of started,
Yes.
at least started accomplishing it, and sometimes injuries have gotten in the way.
Yep.
Man,
I think finished the job from last year.
throw that curveball a little more. If you have other answers for Clarke Schmidt, reply to this YouTube, wherever you're listening. We thank you. Subscribe. Only a couple more players left.
Max.
That
Max average.
That's good. No, I like that.
What is your max average? Comment below.
What is your max average?
That's such a shirt.